Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Michelle, and today I'm going to take you through my summer homeschool prep. So if you're new to my channel, I have a 4-year-old doing preschool, a 7-year-old who's doing first, second grade work, and my 11-year-old just finished up 5th grade. So I will link up above my summer homeschool plans video so you can kind of see the overall how I do it all. But we usually follow a Sabbath schedule, so 6 weeks on, 1 week off. Sometimes it's 7 or 8 weeks on and a week off, depending on how different things land in our calendar. But during that week off I do prep things ahead of time. So I prep things for the following 6-7 weeks. And if that's anything like printing, any copies I have to make, any supplies I have to gather, that's what I do with that 1 week. So every week I do have specific prep time. I do talk about a lot on my channel the importance of teacher prep time. So I want to show you how I do that. So on a weekly basis, on Saturday, I do take a chunk of time, and it doesn't take long. I will actually time record this, so it's 11:52 when I started this video on a Saturday, and I will show you how long it takes me to go through. It's not long. I will prep anything I need for the week ahead, and a lot of this is just looking at what we're going to be doing, preparing myself to be able to teach it, so looking over teacher guides, materials like that, making sure I have the materials on hand. Why is this important? It makes my week run so much smoother because I don't have all those tiny administrative tasks to do along the way. Everything is at this point open and go. I'm prepared to teach. I'm not trying to figure something out right before teaching it. So I'm going to get straight into it. I'm going to flip you around and show you kind of how I organize everything. First up is my preschooler, and I don't have to prep anything for him. Everything for him is prepped in that 1 week break I have during our Sabbath school. So I'll show you really quick what he's been doing. So he has started this handwriting workbook, and he's in the first few pages. Again, don't have to do anything for that. He's going through this Curious George book. Again, there's a bookmark for the next page. Nothing I have to prep for that. His letter tiles are all ready to go. Nothing I have to prep for that. We usually do one of these a day, and again, nothing I have to prep for that. He just picks a worksheet out of these books. And again, these were from an Ollie's haul. And the only other thing he is doing is, he does do his name handwriting worksheet, but I'm not going to show that because I don't share my kids' names. But we are using Core Knowledge Preschool right now. So one thing I did in that 1 week off I had during the Sabbath schedule is I made sure I had all the teacher guides for preschool downloaded on my Samsung tablet, and all of the flip books and image cards downloaded on my kids' Amazon tablet. All that has been prepped and taken care of, and during that week off, I did go ahead and prep and print all of the worksheets that go along with Core Knowledge Preschool, any things that he'll be filling out. I did make a list of books down here of what I need to get and when. So again, prep ahead of time really does save you time. So there's nothing I need to do for my preschooler. He's already prepped and ready to go. Next, I'm going to move on to my 7-year-old. So this is her schedule, her visual schedule. And again, I just use this making Canva. There's a template on Canva you can use for free. I just add some graphics that kind of represent my different kids. But I'm going to go through what I have to do for here. So the big one I'm going to have to do is math. Now, I no longer write these things in my planner. I used to in the past. But we've gotten so used to our schedule that I don't find it necessary. It's just an extra step I have to do. If I need to reference what they need to do, I can look at this as well. So the first thing we're going to do is math, and I color coordinate just because it makes it easier for me, and I'm that kind of type A person. And this is done by my kid's favorite color. So right now, my 7-year-old's favorite color is still pink. My 11-year-old's favorite color is blue, and these are just the friction erasable pens. So the first thing I'm going to go through is math. So she's been doing dimensions 2A, and I've been having her do the textbook and the workbook in the same day just because she picks up pretty quickly on the concepts. I do not have her do all of the problems. If she's understanding the concept, we'll cut it in half. I really feel it out how she's doing. Also, if she's struggling, I will separate it, that we'll do all of the textbook one day and all of the workbook the next day. I did this past week because she's learning multi-digit subtraction and addition with borrowing from multiple place values. So that was a little harder of a concept for her to get. She needed more practice. So a couple times this past week, we just did the textbook, and then the next day we did the workbook. So it really depends on how she is doing with this. So this is the textbook. So I know this will be Monday, and I just write this on here because my kids can pick up their stuff and start. Obviously, we have to do the textbook lesson together, but this also helps me figure out what we're doing for which day. So when I open it, and when it comes to Dimensions 2A, I've taught this entire level with my oldest already. I do have the teacher guide from her if I need to reference it, but I've already taught this entire level, so I don't often have to pull that out. And honestly, my 7-year-old isn't really interested in the game aspects that Dimensions offers because she picks the concepts up so quickly. She just wants to get down to the math and get through it. She doesn't want all the fluff that goes with it. So we will be, looks like, regrouping again. So yeah, because she's been struggling with this, we're gonna work through the majority of this together, and then I'm gonna split and have her do the exercise, page 79, on Tuesday. And I will just write that on here so it's less I have to think about in the future. And again, I don't have to read over extensively these lessons because I know how to teach this lesson or this particular unit already. And does she need this extensive of practice at 7? I don't think so. So what I will do is I will have her pick 2, and this signals to her, because she does the workbook independently, this signals to her to pick 2 of these. And this is just a system we've set up. I have that same system with my oldest. So here, she's gonna pick 4, and she really likes these problems, so I'll have her do the find the missing. She really likes puzzles and things like that. She'll do that. And then I will have her pick 5 of these to do. And then she will pick 2 of these to do. Dimensions gives you an opportunity to practice a lot, which is great for a kid that needs a lot of repetitive practice. That's not this kid. So that is Monday. And I'll just keep going on. It looks like we have a practice. So practice days 2, I will split up because you can see this is a lot of problems, especially for a 7-year-old. So this will be Tuesday. And with the practice, there's no new concepts being taught, so she can do this independently. So I will break this in half. She will do 6 of these. I will have her pick, or actually she'll do all of these because I didn't realize this was a separate lesson. She'll do 6 of these and all of those. And that will be Tuesday, and then 83 will be Wednesday. So for that, she will do this. She'll do 3 of these, do 3 of these, and then she will do all of this problem. You can see that, that's the length of it. That's Wednesday, and then Thursday will be the same thing. She'll do 5, and then she'll pick 1 of these. And letting them have some say in it and what they do, I think, is helpful too. And we'll have this. So she'll pick 5, even though there's 8 there, and then she can pick 1 of these word problems to do. And that will take us to 85. Yeah, so since this is Thursday, I don't want her starting a new chapter on Friday, so I will split this. So she'll do the exercise on Friday. So this is an example of a week where I did split the day. Some days she does textbook and workbook. This week she's going to be doing textbook one day, workbook the next day. And that's not too long. She can do all of this. So I will just put the bookmark back. Put the bookmark in here, and we are ready to go. And again, I've taught these before. I don't need to read over this, and a lot of it will be practice, and we will not be doing the test that will actually happen next week. But that takes care of math. Math skills is mammoth, and I've already printed off all of the review sheets for that. I did that in that, 6 weeks on, 1 week off, and I print enough to cover the 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever we have on, because they only do a page a day. That's already good to go. Handwriting, again, she's been finishing up this trophies workbook. This is kind of like explode the code type work. So just move the bookmark to the next page, and that is good to go. Nothing I need to do there. Next would be all about reading. Luckily, another homeschool mom was nice enough to give me her all about reading level 3, and the best part about that is it was already prepped and in a binder, and everything's cut out, which is so nice. That's probably one of the most annoying things about all about reading, is having to separate all the pages. So she's right on track for that. There's nothing I need to do prep-wise for all about reading. That's literally just doing the next lesson. Core knowledge, 2nd grade. So just like my 4-year-old, the teacher guide is on my Samsung tablet. The flip book that goes with it is on my kid's Amazon tablet. And we were just about to finish up. This is the last unit for 2nd grade core knowledge language arts. And everything again is printed and ready to go. I did that in that 1 week off. So we have, I think, just Cesar Chavez left to do in that activity and read about him. And then we will switch over to first language lessons for some language arts practice this summer. So she's finishing up this unit, but again, everything is already downloaded and prepped and ready to go. That is a time saver for me. And the only other thing is she has her reader, which is she's finishing up some of these hardcore trophies and journeys readers that I have for her, and that's just bookmarked for the next page. I do switch them out. So last week she did a journeys, this week she'll do a trophies, and I just put that in her area where she can grab it. I'll link up above my homeschool spaces if you want to see their stuff. But again, I'm just putting things in their area so it's ready to go next week. The only other thing she does for her is Spanish, and she has started Song School Spanish Book 2, and this is brand new. We'll be starting next week. I just bought this. So I will put a bookmark in for chapter 1. And again, we're very familiar with the format, the vocabulary, the chapter songs, and the activities, because she's my only one doing Spanish right now. My oldest has no interest in Spanish at this point. She can either write in the workbook, or sometimes we'll just do it orally, depending on the worksheet. But I'll just put a bookmark there. And she, of course, has her index cards where she will write her vocabulary words, which we practice on a weekly basis. So you can see that takes care of all of her group, or all of her work that is just solely for her. Group work is going to be art, climate change, music. And I'll get into that after I do my oldest. So now, under my oldest, my 11-year-old, this is her sheet. So we are going to start with math, finishing up dimensions 4B. So I will, and she does the textbook and workbook in the same day. But just like my oldest, it largely depends on how much work, or if it's a new concept, or if it's something she's struggling with. So I had already prepped this a little bit last week while she was working on her stuff. So this will be Monday. She's going to do this independently because it is practice. So yeah, because this is a lot to do. She'll 6 that, but she's been doing really well with adding and subtracting decimals. So I see no issue in adding on the review page the same day. I think she'll be able to handle both those on Monday. So Monday, and I already labeled which one she'll do for that. So really it's just splitting it in half. And then this will be Tuesday. And again, I don't need to unless there's something, this isn't a new concept, so I don't feel the need to read over the teacher guide at this point because it's just practice, and she is one for the games as well. So Tuesday, I will read over what we're doing for that. One thing I like about Dimensions is it gives you multiple methods to do a problem. So we usually will go through both methods and see which one she's more comfortable with. And I'm gonna guess it's gonna be this one. It's just an extension. Last week we did adding to the tenths, subtracting tenths with regrouping. So now we're just gonna get into the hundredths place. So I do not anticipate any difficulty with that. It'll just be an extension of what we've been doing. So we will go through that together, and then she will do independently page 88 on Tuesday. So I will write that here, and this is really helpful for my 11-year-old because she can just pick up and do her work then. So let's see, this will be Wednesday. And just like last week, it's the exact same format except for using the hundredths place instead of the tenths place. So we will work through that together, and then she will do this independently as practice. So that would be Wednesday. And then after adding, we'll get into subtracting. So I do not anticipate any difficulty with that. So we will go through this together, and she'll do 92 by herself. So I'll write Thursday up here. And then this will be Friday. Looks like money, decimals, and fractions. So this is going to be a review of what we've been covering and applying decimals to adding and subtracting money. So I don't anticipate much difficulty with that. So 95 will be independent work. So that'll be Friday. Now, I will go through, just like I did with this, and kind of gauge the problems. So for Tuesday, she's gonna do all of those, and that's gonna be pretty easy. I will split these in half though. And is there another? No, and she'll do that problem. Wednesday, this is a lot. Especially since she's not struggling with the concept, there's no reason for her to do this much. So I will have her pick one of these to do, and then we'll have these. So she'll do 5, she'll do 3, she'll do 4. The challenge is always optional to her. My 7-year-old likes doing the challenge, but not her. Thursday, same thing. She'll do all. And then she'll pick 3 of these, and I'll have her do that problem. And then I'll make this one optional. Then Friday, this is money, so this is the first time she's going to be using money, so I'm going to want her to practice this more. So it's really not that much. I'm going to have her do it all. So that kind of goes over it. Again, it's not a really new concept. We're just adding what we've already learned to it by going to the hundredths place. So I don't feel the need to reference the teacher guide at this point. It's not something that I think either of us will struggle with, but that is ready to go. So next would be math skills for her. And just like my 7-year-old, she has the exact same thing in here. From Math Mammoth Review, she has enough sheets printed out to last until our next break. That's going to annoy me if it's not straight. So next would be editor. She's been working on this, been really helpful with her punctuation and spelling, something that she was more weaker in when I found out we did the testing, the end of the year testing. I'll link that video up above. But that's just literally doing the next one. There's nothing I have to do for that. IEW, she's been trialing 1B, I believe. So I've been trialing her with this because I'm thinking of switching her to the next level, because I've been having her go in order, but she's been flying through IEW really easily. So I was doing, she's been testing out year 1, level B. I was thinking about having her do whatever the next one after this is, year 2 but I do have the 3 weeks free trial printed up for her to see how she did with this, and she's been doing really well. So I think I'm going to purchase the next level, not this level. But I do have it organized in here, so she's got all of the things she needs. She has paper in here to write. Again, the video lessons are bookmarked on the laptop, so she just clicks on that and can get to it. Nothing I have to do for that. And that covers everything. I don't have to do anything for typing for her. She just brings that up on her computer. Horseback riding, that's her activity of choice. My 7-year-old does do gymnastics, but I don't put that on her sheet. So next I can get into group work. Now I don't have any assigned reading for my 11-year-old because she's in part of multiple book clubs this summer. So you can see here, this is her horse book club that her riding instructor actually has a book club for kids her age. And it's about an hour and a half every week. So she's reading, doing activities with that. She's participating in the summer reading program. She's also doing the summer reading book club at the libraries. There's 2 different ones. So she's getting plenty of reading in. That's not something I have to schedule for this child at all. So let's get into group work. So climate. We are on our last week of this, The Science of Climate Change, a hands-on course by Blair Lee. This has been awesome. This has worked really, really well for my 7 and my 11-year-old. My 11-year-old specifically asked to do conservation this summer. That's something she's very passionate about. So we will be starting part 4. I just look over this. I've already made copies of what we will be needing because you can buy the PDF, but I prefer hard copies, and I do want to use this for my son in the future. So I just made copies of it. So any of the labs that you do or anything you have to fill out has been already made copies. I've already made a list of, you can see, we did this we were looking at carbon in the air. We did the experiment last week with that. So all I have to do is look over and make sure I have the supplies on hand for that. So this has already been copied. So, trip to the grocery store. I do my grocery shopping on Friday. And what we've been doing is we've been able to get these done within 3 days. I originally planned to do it 4 days of the week. So this will be day 1 where we read this and we learn about carbon footprinting, and then we'll do the lab, which is a carbon footprint field trip to the grocery store, which this is what it is, where it came from, and then we're going to look at how far it came from our house. So I do have little tabs. So this will be Monday, and we'll do the lab. So we'll make a trip to the grocery store, which is fine because we'll probably most likely need milk by then anyways, or eggs. So we will do that lab, answer the questions, and then we'll get into Tuesday, which will be this. We're going to look at why we recycle and do the lab with that. And that will be it. So I'm going to actually leave this section for Wednesday. And that will be wrapping up the entire unit and review. So you can see we can get it finished in 3 days. There's no extra supplies I need. I know we'll be making a trip to the grocery store that day to do the lab, but that's climate change. Next is art. We are using this Atelier art. This is the old version, and it comes with the DVDs. I've talked about this a couple times. If you want to see the summer homeschool plans, I go over this. But I've already gone through and labeled what we need. So we just finished 3. So we're on week 4, because this will be the last week of June for next week. So I need yellow chalk and liquid starch. So I already got yellow chalk. That's in the garage with the kids' chalk. Liquid starch, I looked up a recipe online. My past self wrote a note to me that I bookmarked it. It's a bookmark in my phone, the recipe. And all I need is cornstarch, which I already have. So again, no prep. I already looked through these lessons on that week I had off. And you can see how much easier it does make things when you're prepped. This is just making sure everything's ready to go. The only other thing would be music, which I'll take you to my computer for that. Using the Carnegie Hall Music Explorers program. So I will look over our lesson really quick. We did the first lesson. We did lesson 1 last week, so we'll be doing lesson 2. And the only thing I'm really looking for on this is we will have our video instruction. If I need any supplies ahead of time. So I usually do take this entire thing and project it to my TV, so I don't need to make the printouts of the lyrics or anything like that because my kids will be able to see it on the TV. What I will look up, though, is the extra extension activities or PDFs. The book I have already got from the library, so we're going to be reading that after the lesson, and then I'm going to look at the beadwork. Oh, okay, so I will print this because I think the kids will really enjoy that. And the other one is, yeah, so I think they'll both really enjoy these activities, so I will print both of those right now and put them on the shelf for the unit. So we'll probably do the lesson, read the book, and do the activities. So as you can see, that takes care of everything on the list. I don't have to do anything for co-op because we just switched to playground meetup twice a month for summer, so there's nothing I need to prep for that. So that is everything I do for the weekly prep. It is 12:22, so it took me roughly 30 minutes to do. I would say it probably takes me closer to 20, maybe 25 minutes to prep, and it just took longer because I was filming and I had to set up the camera, so the time takes a little longer. But I would say I'd average probably 20 minutes on a Saturday once a week to prep for the following week. As you can see, everything is ready to go. So everything will be open to go. All supplies are ready. Everything's organized. Things are in their spots so the kids can grab them and go. And it really does make our week run a lot smoother. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If not, thank you for watching.